Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. We are on episode 25, and in the last episode, well also, I don't know when this actually ends. Are we actually on the last episode right now? I can't tell. It just seems like the episodes are going on, and like all of a sudden we're at episode 25, which is usually like, you know, when you've... a season's length is normally ended at around episode 25, so it's got to be either the last episode or the second to last, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments. So yeah, in the last episode we had basically what I was referring to as like the rescue squad come together, who are now seemingly totally against everything that Eren is going to do, and they're going out to save the world. So you've got the likes of, you know, Armin, Mikasa, Connie, Jean, Reiner, Annie, Falco, Gabby. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. Oh yeah, you've obviously got Peak on there as well. Magath, Levi, of course. How the fuck can I forget? Hanji. I think that's it. I think I got everyone, and that was all off the top of my head as well. So I think I've got everyone there. But yeah, they've basically come to the conclusion that they're going to save the world, and that obviously means going up against Eren. So I figured that this was the way that it would have to end up going, and it kind of props up a way for the show to end where the world is at peace without the genocide of, you know, one or the other, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how like all of it concludes, and how Eren's going to take it when he finds out. But yeah, so obviously Annie is back and whatnot, and she's obviously like with the rescue squad. I did like the scene at the very end where, you know, Reiner's just basically come out of his kind of like his sleep, we'll call it that. I mean, he was essentially knocked out, you know what I mean? He needed to get some rest to heal himself. But coming out of that state and immediately like seeing Annie was, you know what I mean? It was cool to see them together again, and having all of these people like on the same side for like genuinely the first time. Like obviously you can kind of say that they were on the same side in, you know, season 1 and whatnot, but you know, obviously after the fact, in hindsight, we realise they never were. So to have them actually all on the same side legitimately is kind of sick. So yeah, I mean, we also had the whole thing with like Armin and really thinking that the wrong choice had been made between him and Erwin, and we had a shocking scene where he was about to give himself up to Connie's mother to basically like bring her back and whatnot, and it was I couldn't believe it, man. It was a very, very shocking scene, and of course obviously the whole plan to get everyone like out of the hands of the Aegarists and everything was insane as well. So yeah, really, really cool. And yeah, so I mean, all of the Wall Titans and everything that are following, you know, Eren are basically at least out of sight of where the walls used to be. Let's put it that way, as of now. So you know, they could be fucking. I don't know where they could be yet. I kind of want to see them. I hope there's a scene where we get to see them like going across the ocean. Because I just think that would be a cool image. I really hope we get to see that. If not, I kind of will be disappointed in that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't think we need to really mention anything else. I think we've got everything. So yeah, we are going to get an episode 25. As always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion only video, and a link to the reaction will be in the description below. As always, a link to the full-length reaction to this episode is in the description below as well, so if you do want to watch my full-length reaction to this episode, then the link is in the description there for you. But yes, nothing else to really talk about, so we are going to get an episode 25 season 4, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
家は当然セントラルの一等地を要求する。嫁も子供も孫の代まで幸せに暮らせる権利があるはずだ。
Is this what like could have been? I don't know, it could be a premonition of you know, that'll actually come true, but...
何も聞かなかった。
Oh, right. This is before he decides, right, what to do.
としていればセントラルの一等地が手に入る。
Bless him.
そして私たちは車力の巨人らマーレ残党と手を組んだ。エレンを止めるためだ。 皆殺しは間違ってる。従来の兵団組織は壊滅して、もう私は君たちの上官でもない。その上で聞くけど。
やります。これ以上エレンに虐殺なんてさせたくありません。
Okay. For the first time ever, she's actually come out in
本当にエレンを止められ
direct
たとして
opposition.
どうするつもりですか？その後の何十年後の未来もずっと世界から向けられる憎悪が消えないなら、エレンを止めることはこの島を滅ぼすことになります。ビリー・タイバーの演説以上に世界を焚きつけることになりますよ。
それはもっともだろうが、いずれにしろ島が滅ぶにしても何年かは猶予ができるはずだ。
でもそうやって可能性を探してるうちに時間が過ぎて何一つ解決できなかった。
It feels that
エレン
way,
は
yeah.
世界を消そう。
虐殺はダメだ。音出しちゃった。ジャンの言う通りエレンがこうなったのは私の不甲斐ない理想論のせいだ。それにこんなこと吠えておいて逃げようとしていたんだよ。人類の自由のために心臓を捧げた仲間が見ている気がする。大半は壁の外に人類がいるなんて知らずに死んでいった。
It's like with
だけ
Erwin
ど
when
こ
he
の
was
島だ
talking
け
to
に自
Levi.
由をもたらせばそれでいい。
Yeah, there you go. Now Erwin
虐
joined
殺を
them.
止めることができるのは今しかない。
Yeah. Marco.
俺はまだ調査兵団です。
Night of the End.
散々殺し合った者同士で飯を囲むか。面白いな。どうして気が変わった？
説明した通りだよ、元帥殿。私たちは虐殺なんて望んでない。
つまり正義に目覚めたというわけか。
正義だと？今正義を語ったのか？あんたらが送り続けてきた巨人に抵抗してきた俺たちが悪だったのか？
ラディと脅威論は現実となり、今や世界は滅びつつある。お前らが必死に戦った結果がこれだ。違うか？
そもそも壁破られて目の前で母親が食い殺されていなきゃな。エレンはこんなことしてねえよ。地ならしまで追い詰めたのはお前らだろうが。
おい、今さら歴史の話をしようっていうのか。先にマーレを苦しめ、蹂躙したのはエルディアだってことぐらいは理解してるんだろうな。
It's like children's talk, isn't it? It's like you did it first. Oh, I'm on.
私たちは外の世界で数ヶ月暮らした。もう何も知らない島の悪魔には戻れない。
あんたたちに殺せるの？エレンを止める方法は殺すだけじゃない。あんたならそう言うと思ったけど、それじゃあ
I
何？
don't know if you can talk
説
him
得
out
で
of
も
it.
するの？対話が可能だとして、それでも虐殺をやめてくれなかった時はどうするの？
You'll have no choice.
エレンの敵だとアホになるからわからないの？あんたにとってエレンより大事なものなんて考えたこともないだろうからね。つまり私を殺すべきだと。
God. These two again.
レオンハート！
あんたの気持ちはよくわかる。私もエレンを止めたい理由は一つ。マーレにいる父親を殺されたくないから。だからあんたの助けがいる。説得してエレンを止められるのならそれでいい。
頼りは東人家だ。清美さん曰く地ならしの視察用に飛行艇を港に用意してあるらしい。
Ah, that's still
そ
there.
れを
I
使え
remember
ば
that.
あの始祖の巨人に近づける。
大陸のことを何も知らないイエーガーに知恵を貸したのはお前だ。奴は前もって地ならしの進路を想定している。何らかの予想はできるはずだ。
クソ野郎。なぜ私がマーレ人のクソ野郎に協力する必要があるのかと聞いている。
Wouldn't
でも
cooperate.
自分の故郷のためにマーレと戦ってたんだろ
こいつも同じクソ野郎のマーレ人だからだ。
Okay, right. She's Malian
レ
then.
ベリオであなたにまんまとやられたからね。イエレンはマーレに併合された小国出身と偽った。ジークと初めて出会った時から。マーレに失望していたあなたはある物語を作り出した。 の欲深さに敬服いたします。
世界を救う、何億もの命を救うという崇高な胸の高鳴りに身を任せ、これまでの遺恨などなきもののように喉へと流し込む。少し思い出してみませんか？
Please. I love the way that was framed as well, like keeping everyone like separate.
あなたが壁に穴を開けたことで、どれだけのエルディア人が巨人に食い殺されたでしょうね。あなたも随分と調査兵団を殺したそうですね。ついでにストヘスクでも大勢の住人を踏み潰したとか。普段は良識人のあなたがあそこまで派手に軍港を破壊するとは。アルミン、あなたは車力を撃つためにそこにいるファルコ少年めがけ、勇猛果敢に雷槍を撃ち込みました。
Yeah, I remember that.
そしてそこにいる少女ガビによってサシャが撃ち殺されました。
ありがとうエレナ。お互いのわだかまりをここで打ち明けて心を整理させようとしてくれてるんだよな。
何でしたっけ？以前教えてもらったあなたの親友の名前は。そうだ、マルコだ。
Oh.
確か彼の死に兄が関わってると言ってましたよね。
私がマルコから立体起動装置を取り上げた。だからマルコは巨人に食われ。
兄は俺の命令に従っただけだ。俺は正体がバレることを恐れ、マルコが巨人に殺されればうまく口封じができると思った。兄に立体起動装置を外させた。マルコはその場から動けないまま巨人に食われた。
マルコは最後に何か言ってなかったか？
俺たちはまだ話し合ってないって。
今からでも遅くないよ。これだけしのぎを削り殺し合った者同士が少なくとも今は殺し合わずに言葉を交わしている。
マルコが巨人に食われるのを見ながら、俺はなんでマルコが巨人に食われているんだと思った。
いいって。罪悪感で頭がおかしくなっちまったんだろ。
許さないでくれ。俺は本当にどうしようもない。
もういいって。
すまない。
Oh. Fucking hell.
ダメだ。ごめんなさい。この島が悪魔が消えてなくなることを願い続けてました。そしたらお父さんやお母さんがレベリオのみんなが消えてなくなることになりました。すごくずうずうしいことは分かってますが、皆さんの助けが必要です。どうか私たちに力を貸してください。お願いします。お願いします。お願いします。お願いします。お願いします。お願いします。
話せ。
ダメだ。言っちゃった。
うるせえな。
God, leave that was tense, man.
出発の時間だ。
協力してくれるの？
ああ、もちろんだ。ほら、いつまで寝てんだライナー。怪我なんてとっくに治ってんだろうが。
He just didn't want to keep hearing the word. I admire that Gene was like, you know, just stop, because I'm going to fucking, I'm going to lose it here.
蹴って悪かった、ライナー。お前には謝らねえからな。
ああ、それでいい。
Went ahead scouting.
港がイエーガー派に占拠されています。対巨人用装備の兵士たちが多く戦闘態勢でした。
Yeah, they fucking got there before them, so... It's fucking Falco. They're not Falco, fucking... Sorry. Flock. Jesus Christ. Okay, episode 25. Night of the End. That was a really, really good episode. In terms of, like... I mean, I could barely get a word in, because it was very dialogue heavy. But I think it was needed, because... You have all of these characters that have been on opposite sides of each other, and to get them to genuinely work together, you need to air out the differences, because there's always going to be that sort of nagging, thing in the background that is, these people have killed somebody you care about. So I thought it was a really, really meaty episode for that. I feel like I really, really enjoyed Gene in this episode. He's gone up there, he might be on par with Armin for my favourite character right now. I really, really enjoy him. I just think his turnaround... I mean, even to say turnaround isn't really... I don't know. It doesn't feel right when I say that, because I feel like my sort of... my specific turnaround on him was when he joined the Scouts, really. That's when my turnaround on him was. But I feel like just from where he started to where he is now is so drastic and so earned. I really love it. And that goes for a lot of characters, man. But I don't know. I really, really like Gene at the moment. I liked the bit at the beginning there where it was it came in as what could be this offer that he can finally go to the inside and live out the rest of his life in peace with his his children and grandchildren and whatever, and he'll have a wife, but he can't separate that side of him that that he's basically the person that he's become won't allow him to go down that route, to just pass it up. So yeah, I just really like, but I like the fact that even though it's he's decided to go see Hanji and then he's taught the plan and everything, he still questions it and he still wants to. It's he wants to be cemented in the path that he's taking before he takes it. You know what I mean? So the fact that he always questions everything, so that he is 100% sure that what he's doing is what he truly believes in, I think is totally his character through and through. I just get a real amazing sense with him as a character that everything that has got to this moment is so earned, and you can recall everything in the past that's led him to that moment. It's kind of similar to Reiner in that regard, but this episode of Gene was almost the focal point of it, you know what I mean? Because he was the kind of the in for the viewer who might be, totally still against this whole idea that they're going to go against Eren. But I think that this episode really put into perspective the idea that truly you do have to stop him. But even if Gene is sort of that conduit to that, you still have that moment where Annie and Mikasa square up to each other. I like to say that hasn't gone away. It's still them two. But the idea that they aren't. It isn't just a case of just straight up killing him. They are going to try and communicate with him and trying to stop him from doing it. Now, I said during the reaction, I just don't know how plausible that really is, because I mean, I've talked about this in the previous episodes, that the idea that if they go against him, I don't know how you get away from the fact that you might have to kill him to stop him, because Eren since the very get-go has always been so one-track minded in what he wants to do, and even to the whole thing of he wants to kill every last one, right? That meaning the Titans back in season 1, right? When he got information, it changed, right? So there is room for change, but it's still that whole thing of killing every last one is still a part of that focus, It's just a change from the Titans to, well, everyone else. So it's kind of that hasn't changed. So it would have to take something monumental to change his mind, because it's not going to be as simple as them catch up to him and talk to him, and then it's all right, well, yep, I'll do whatever you guys want. It's not, is it? So, you know, I did talk about it in previous episodes, but I think it's going to be more of a case of Eren is just going to be like, no, you know what I mean? You don't understand what you're saying. I feel like Eren's going to have that mentality towards his own friends that he's trying to protect. But, you know, the people who have their heads screwed on at the moment is the rescue squad. So, you know, I think, yeah, I'm totally on board in stopping Eren. It's just going to be a question of how they do it. It could get to the point where it's just like, well, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. We just have to kill him. But yeah. I like the fact that Mikasa was the one in the talk with Hanji and Jean. That she was the one that came out and go, okay, right, we're doing this, you know. For the first time, she's gone directly against Eren, and also, I feel for the first time she's had a thought of her own. You know what I mean? It hasn't been dictated by anything else other than herself, which I like. You know what I mean? That's some character development there. Because I remember even like back when I was like reacting to season 1, there was a lot of talk about Mikasa and how she's so like, you know, like she's not a great character because she's like, you know, she doesn't do anything for herself, and it's like kind of like a similar with Eren in the one track mind. Like she was just kind of following Eren, so it was kind of like she was just, you know, a sort of like a side on to Eren with amazing abilities and capability. You know, but to actually see her like actually have some thought of her like of her own and go with it and be so like, you know, vindictive with it, I like it. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool opening scene. They didn't even have the opening in this one, and I'm guessing it was to fill in a lot of the talking that was going on. You know, originally when there wasn't an opening, I was like, hold on, is this the finale? Because, you know, you can imagine like in the finale of an episode when you need to cram stuff in to get to the point where you cut it off. But I mean, judging by the way that it's ending, and also there's a preview at the end, so clearly it isn't. I don't know how many episodes are left. So yeah, I'm gonna have to let you tell me how many are left if you guys know. Yeah, and then so we get to the point where they're around the campfire, all of them. You know, you start off, and then you have Jean and Magath kind of going at each other, and again, it's like this whole thing that I've talked about before, about this childish sort of like attitude that, you know, that they have, where it's like, you know, yous are the ones that did it first. It's like it's fun. But I guess it just shows you the sort of like the ignorance that people have if they're involved in a kind of a war or conflict. That, you know, Magath came out and legitimately said, it's like I'm talking to children. But what he doesn't realize is that like he himself is like exactly the same, and that's obviously something that is the like a focal point of the episode, is that they are all the same. They've all committed atrocities to each other, so nobody has the right to you know, to say that something is worse for them than it is for anyone else, you know, which I really liked because of sort of like Yelena's like sort of input on the whole thing, that she was the one actually kind of instigating that whole talk between them and kind of putting them all on a level playing field, which I really liked. You know, and I talked about you know, in the reaction, the sort of framing that was done. That is, again, that this show has is the visual storytelling, I think, is just off the chain. That, you know, you don't have to actually say something to get a feel for exactly what the story's trying to tell you, by having the same sort of framing for every character, but only having that one character in the shot, and you're going in between them, you know what I mean? Separating them from everyone else. So it's not a case of like, oh, you have these two that are coupled up, or you have like these three that are part of the same group. It's not about that. It's the idea that you have them separate, because each of them on their own, right? You're basically breaking down all of the, you know, the shit that has come before, right? All of the shit that they've been through, all the atrocities that they've committed to each other, all of it needs to be broken down to be built back up so that they can form this group properly as a team. So I really did like the way that it was framed, and having just, you know, the singular characters in those frames I thought was really nice. So yeah, great visual storytelling. What else? Yeah, and then we have the whole thing with Jean and Reiner. That was tense, really tense. And I really liked because this is the thing, like with Jean and Reiner, you get that sort of it's kind of like hard to explain. You get the feeling that everything that has come up to, like, all the way up to this point, that their character is earned, all the way up to this conversation between them involving Marco, right? Which I just think is so indicative of them as characters, that you have, you know, the talk that obviously Yelena does bring up about that whole thing. And this is the first time they're hearing of how Marco died, and it's like, it's got to be hard to listen to, but that's the point. That, you know, Yelena is purposefully, you know, instigating this conversation to break down everything, so nothing is off the table. Everything's on, including what happened to Marco, because that is a part of it. And also, I wonder, I'll be interested to know when Yelena got that information, you know? Like, where did she get it from, I wonder? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so she obviously instigates that conversation, and obviously, you know, the crew hearing that for the first time is got to be really hard to listen to, but they've got to go through it so they can come together in the end. And you have, you know, Reiner basically take responsibility for the whole thing. He was the one that ordered the whole thing, and the whole thing of like Reiner not stopping talking about it, where he's like, I did it, but then when I saw it happening, I couldn't grasp what the situation was, like why it was happening. So he keeps talking, and Jean's telling him to stop. And I think if you look at it from sort of Jean's point of view, he's saying, stop talking about it, because I'm about to lose it here. Like, I'm about to kick the shit out of you. Stop talking about it. And then you've got Reiner, who I think purposefully talks about it because he knows what Jean's about to do, and we know that Reiner is very, you know, he wants to kind of take his comeuppance in a way, so he lets it happen. But that's what I really like about it, is Jean's like telling him to stop because he doesn't want to, you know, he doesn't want to do what he's about to do. And then you've got Reiner, who wants Jean to do it because Reiner feels totally and utterly responsible for it. So I like that dynamic between the two, and it was a really, really tense scene. Like, you know, he's beating the living shit out of him. I've lost count of how many times Reiner, the poor bastard, he gets kicked the living shit out of time and time and time again, man. God, I don't think there's any other character in the show that has been like beaten so much than Reiner, you know? God. So yeah, he's beaten the living shit out of him. He gets picked up, and then he goes to kick him. I think he kicked him in the balls. Oh, and then he goes to kick him again, and Gabby gets in the way, and then, you know, both Gabby and Falco turn around, basically plead this idea, like, you know, like, please. And I like the, you know, I like that the full turnaround of them, like, knowing that all of this wasn't what it initially set out to be, and they've changed their whole perception of the whole thing. So, you know, it's just about saving and rescuing now. It's not about kind of, you know, going in and invading other people. So yeah, I really like that. I also like the idea that, like, the whole thing that, like, Marco is still playing a part this far on, you know. Obviously it's coming through, like, with Jean, but, like, the whole, like, if you think about it, I like the fact that it was like, what was his last words? Like, did he say anything? and he's saying we haven't even talked about this, and it rings true so much for obviously that situation of them once enemies around the campfire. It's like to talk about it, right? So I liked the connection there. That, you know, it's for so long that, like, you know, Marco was Marco was really like the only sort of character that was like in that group, you know, like that initial cadet group that didn't make it, you know. I know like there were like other like side characters, but I mean, like, if you think of the group as like a, you know, as like a whole, like if you think about, you know, Eren, Armin, Mikasa, Annie, Jean, Connie, Rainer, Berthold, you know, and Marco, I think that's them all, right? I think so. That, like, you know, you Sasha, of course. Fuck, damn it, man, dude. Oh, I feel fucking horrible for that. Sorry, Sasha. That, like, he was the first battle he never come out of, you know, but he still plays a part this far on. I just really like that. You know, so even just playing a part as a whole in the story of them as a group. But obviously he will always have that impact with Jean, because, you know, that the connection that them two had, and you know, Marco was the first one to be like, you know what I mean, you're a leader here, you know, and like actually bigged like Jean up when Jean was like not even totally convinced of himself. So yeah, I like that Marco's still like he still plays a part. So yeah, and then we have the, you know, obviously that sort of fight comes to an end, and then you have Levi's only addition to the episode to come up and say that you're also noisy. Like, oh god, in such a tense episode, you've got fucking Levi. God, never change. You never will. But like, I just find it funny. You know, he's like trying to sleep. He's trying to get some kip, and he's got all this commotion around him, and he's just like, fucking hell, man. It's like he can never get any peace. It's so funny. So yeah, I mean, after that, yeah. So you've got Jean, who obviously goes off, and he's got like this thing now where he's trying to almost like, you know, like not listen to things, you know, like clearly, obviously, like all of the information that he just literally got, like how Marco died and everything, it's like that's tough to take, you know what I mean? You've got to get it out somehow, but yeah, he goes there, and then obviously sitting on it for a night, it's all kind of become clear, and Jean's like, right, okay, that's it, bygones, and now they're fully committed as a team. So they go on their way to the port where the flying vehicle is, the Azumabito flying vehicle. I remember that. It was the thing that was sort of covered in a massive tarp, wasn't it? I remember that being talked about a while back. I think it was back in first half of season 4, I think. So yeah, like that's pretty much the way off. that's the way that they need to be able to catch up to Eren. So it's the only thing that they've really got. But who's got there first but the Jaegerists and fucking Flock. Shit. And he's holding Azumabito hostage. I can't remember her first name. I didn't write it down. So yeah, like, so was she staying there? I thought that they went off. Actually, I don't know, because I seem to recall there was something where like they were staying here to see the rumbling, right? Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe they were just hanging out there. But yeah, regardless, Flock has got her hostage, of course. So this is where they come to a head. The first real battle, where you've got them going up against, you know, themselves in a way. Like, obviously they're the Jaegerists, but really, like, they're their own people that, you know, on Paradis and whatnot. So this is like really the first time they would be going up against them. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's going to be tense. I mean, I feel like there's not going to be. I just feel like it's going to be tense from here on for the rest of the story, really. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, is there anything else? Anything else that I've missed? I think I've pretty much covered everything there. But like I say, I loved that, you know, Yelena's part to play in this was actually laying out all of their past transgressions, and, you know, and basically like putting it all out on the table, breaking it down, building it up. You know, it just puts them all on a level playing field, and so, you know, you don't have to almost worry going forward that they're not going to be on the same sort of wavelength. The only time I feel like that will end up coming up is with Eren. If you can't get through to him by talking, there's obviously going to be a moment where they will try and take Eren out, and I can see like Mikasa or like, you know, in Armin or whatnot, like just getting involved, like getting in the way, and I feel like that'll be the time where they won't be on the same page. But as of now, they are. So, you know, we'll see what happens going forward. But anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access gives you access to shows a week early. Squid Game will be coming out. The next episode of Squid Game will be coming out tomorrow as well. There's the full-length tier, which gives you access to all the full-length reactions to the shows that I do. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to all the full-length for the movies that I do. And movies will be coming back soon, so look out for those. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.